said this video more than it needs to. As for Elton John, I think his team was the one that has changed his identity, like Jimmy McGill or Solomon from Very First Soul.
I need a new dust filter for my Hoover Max Extract Pressure Pro Model 60. Can you help me with that?
Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I did not review today anyway. Hopefully it isn't long. Developer and also a game moderator at the same time. Let's not forget that.
और प्रीमियम क्वालिटी की होती है।
जिस डे में क्वालिटी की दवाई उसी डे में क्वालिटी की दवाई।
अब मैनकाइंड भारत में सबसे दामों में।
Parents of Reddit, what's the funniest reason you've been called into school to collect your child? I was called to collect my son when he was in first grade because, quote, he was being disrespectful to his classmates. My son told me that Jeffrey passed it. That makes no sense. About an hour later, the light bulb went on. You didn't want to go to today, did you? When I was in this grade, some poor guy got pants right in front of me. A girl who showed many of his classes. Normally, it'd be no big deal. Someone got pants to my school on at least a weekly basis. No, the really awkward part was I was kind of crouched down because I had a bottom locker, and he was standing up with the top locker next to mine. Not above, but I guess on a diagonal. His pantser shouted right as he pulled. So, of course, I looked up at the shout because he startled me. And, well, the pants individual's boxers had been pulled down along with the pants, so right in front of my eyes was Baby Yoda. It was the first Baby Yoda I've ever seen in person. Here I thought I was saying that baby cousins had changed himself. And considering we were 11, I was presumably the first girl outside of his co-star when he was little to see his dingling. It was just for a split second because obviously the guy pulled his pants back up with lightning reflexes. I've never seen someone go so red in the face. We both stood there in shock for a couple of seconds as the hallway cleared and began walking in class. We shared the next class. Oh no, that's even more awkward. The whole time he was stammering out apologies and I kept telling him it wasn't his fault. It's not like he pulled his pants down. After class, other students asked me if I'd seen it, and I lied profusely. What are you talking about? He was wearing underwear. How would I see anything? Oh, well, when the bag came down, I was able to see his butt. Oh my god, well, they didn't come down in the front. The rest of the year, this guy who was attracted to a stranger was pretty nice to me. Not like very nice, but I think he figured out that I lied, so I think he let me know. I was called in because the elementary school was going on a field trip that my son forgot to give me the permission slip for. He decided to get forgery award. This was in first grade, so the handwriting was awful. He also signed my name, Mom. I got a phone call earlier this year from the school nurse, saying she was concerned because my son had passed out while in the lunch line. I went to pick him up, and he seemed a little dazed, but okay. My kid couldn't remember anything about what happened beforehand, so I made an appointment with his pediatrician for an hour later. Right as we're getting to leave, he sheepishly said, Mom, I just remembered that right before I passed out, we were playing a game to see who could turn their face the reddest. So, my kid had me thinking he had a brain tumor, but no. He just held his breath until he passed out, and not a single other kid thought they should mention that to the teacher. Embarrassed to admit that I've done this before, I was getting ready for school in the morning and decided out of the blue to do this. Promptly passed out and cracked my head on the dresser on the way down. I come to almost immediately and just sat there on the floor confused as to what happened. I already had this huge lump forming on my head and a killer headache, but I didn't want to tell my dad because I didn't want him to be mad. So I went to school and was miserable all day. When I got home, I finally told my sister. She took a one look and ran to tell Mom. I had a goose egg-sized lump on my head. All said and done, I had 2 MRIs and a sleep test. Don't know the proper name. Everything turned out fine in the end. I never admitted I passed out because I held my breath too long. In my senior year of high school, I was nearly not allowed to graduate, and my family was called because I forged my own name by writing in the Guardian section of a permission slip. I was 18. My kid got in huge trouble in kindergarten. A girl told the teacher he said the S word. He lost recess, so they called me. It was a big deal. I went to pick him up and said, "So what's the S word?" And he stared at his shoes and whispered, "Sexy." Yeah, confirmed by the little title. All of this was caused by sexy. Funniest one I've ever heard. My kid surprisingly well behaved at school. Was a parent having to come get their kid after they were caught selling imaginary friends to the younger students for $1 apiece. I made the mistake of telling my stepdaughter about the professor I had in college that we never knew read our papers. So it turned into a class game to fit ridiculous sentences and bad jokes into the middle of them to see if we'd ever get caught. She apparently decided that was an amazing thing to do, and I got called for a phone conference because she turned in a history paper that was chock full of awful puns that were not appreciated. My mother was told to take me in the first grade. stepped in a large hole in the ground by accident and fell flat on my face, leaving me badly When I was in seventh grade, I was an office runner. Basically, if your reading and writing skills were above a certain level, they let you skip reading class and just work in the office, getting kids whose parents had come to them, deliver messages, that sort of thing. Anyway, the kid next to me just wouldn't shut the heck up. He kept rattling on and on and on, and I had enough of it. I had a monster fight for him. Told him to shut his mouth and fired him. Well, at least, that was the plan. Instead, I called the lens, locked eyes with him, told him to shut his mouth, and completely cracked my pants in the most glorious fashion. This wasn't a little nugget. This was a full pants load of chocolate pudding that ran down my leg and made a little puddle on the floor. Everything in the office goes dead silent, and there's no mistaking what's just happened. The kid just stared at me with absolute horror in his eyes. Without looking away from him, I raised my hand and said, "Miss," office lady's name, I don't remember. I think I need to call my mom. I went home, took a bath, threw the pants away, and came back the next day. The kid was seated on the opposite side of the room from me, and I never had a problem with him again. He feared and respected me from now on. Anybody want dessert? My dad got sent to the principal's office for telling his sixth grade teacher she was pronouncing the state capital of South Dakota, Pierre, wrong. She kept saying Pierre, 2 syllables like the French name, and he said it was Pierre, 1 syllable with a zero. He was so awful, I was hoping the teacher would do it. Because if he did, we'd find out that both his father and I are from South Dakota. He visits his grandparents and aunts and uncles in South Dakota every summer. He knows plenty of people from South Dakota who can say Pete. Do you know anyone from South Dakota? Well, take it from a South Dakotan. It's Pete. And not just the French people, and Scott was to be with him. People wanted to be mostly the North, who really had a personal career in their life, so on and so forth. There was anybody else in the room who was friendly by him and president Trump. So, she's pretty nice company. My son, 14, 8th grade, during class change, walked into the boys' bathroom, put his hands off his head, and while flexing his hip in a hopping motion, turned all of the boys in the room to "Protect your butthole, gentlemen, here I come." The funniest part about it all, that exact same description was jotted down on the writing sheet. Even the principal couldn't stop laughing. My daughter hid inside the toilet, and the teachers couldn't find her. She could be my wild child. When I was in second grade, I had a hand down, so I started my mom with braille on the front. Because my 14-year-old son was in trouble. I don't have a son, and if I had a son, it would be very impressive if he was 14 years old then, because I would have tried to conceive him when I was 9. I told him that. Finally, I showed up at the high school and proved that there, and I needed to come get him at once. Uh-oh. He had ruined the second graders. All of them. And their Not me, but my sister. She got a call from her son's very Catholic school that he needed to be picked up. She gets to the school, and the principal says that he had to go home for the day because he peed on a tree outside of recess. She really laid him down. Seriously. The poor dude on the tree because a little kid peed on it. And it was terrible. My sister looked him straight in the eye and asked, "You really think I have the right family to apply me? Get on my husband when he comes in next time." Me, when I was a kid, we moved from Middle America to the West Coast. I had extra R sound in my words. That's all my mom was on my speaking language. I could just think to myself, they understood that it was not the speaking language. And I didn't say that. It is Washington, not Washington. It's funny now that I wasn't at the time. One day I was told to pick up my daughter from school. Last while, I was later told she had been caught cheating and being disrespectful to the teacher and had to share government property. Holy crap, I thought. Still haven't, and now she's in high school. Well, I get a call from her school's principal one day. He tells me two boys were fist fighting in the lunchroom. I asked boys got into a fistfight over whether unicorns. Was when my son was in the 2nd grade. He decided that instead of helping one of his fellow classmates do their work, he just do his work for him. When I asked him why, his answer really tickled me. Mom, so I told him to get snacks.
You go fishing. You fish until you get tired and you sink.